Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Rituja, moderator for this conference. Welcome to the conference call of Ircon International Limited, arranged by Concept Investor Relations to discuss its Q4 and FY21 results. We have with us today Shri M.K. Singh, CMD and Director Finance, and Shri Surajit Datta, CGM Finance and Chief Financial Officer. At this moment, all participants are in the listen-only mode. Later, we will conduct a question and answer session. At that time, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. Please note that this conference is recorded. I would now like to hand over the floor to Shri M.K. Singh for his opening remarks. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, whoever are listening to me, I extend a very good evening to all of you. I welcome you all to the con call from Ircon to discuss the financials for the fourth quarter as well as for the fiscal year ending 31st March 2021. I hope that all of you are safe and sound from this ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. We have had our shares of difficulties so far as this pandemic is concerned, of physical performance as well as in terms of not having good times in terms of health and so on. We have been regularly conducting con calls, so I assume that most of you are familiar with the working of Ircon. So without taking much time, I would put in front of you the highlights of the year and our financial performance. Let me start with the good thing. Ircon has secured orders for 4,157 crore during for the year FY21. Means from 1st April 2020 up to 31st March 2021, we secured fresh order for 4,157 crore, taking the total order book to 34,689 crore as on 31st March 2021. And it's more heartening to share with you that we have secured 99% of these orders on competitive bidding basis. The total order book of the company consists of 95% of the rail related projects and 5% of highway projects. And even in the first quarter, let me inform you that we have recently bagged an order of 700 crores from railways regarding railway electrification. So this was the order book front news. Now I will talk about the financial performance for the full year ended 31st March 2021. Revenue from operations for the full year stood at rupees 4,948 crore as compared to 5,200 crore for FY20. So there was a decrease of around 250 crore, and that was mostly to do with the performance in the Q1 of the previous year. The core earnings before interest, tax, depreciation and amortization, that is core EBITDA, stands at 361 crore against 476 crore in FY20. The company's core EBITDA margin stood at 7.30% in FY21. The PBT is 574 crore for FY21 as compared to 673 crore in FY20. The PBT margin is 11.04%. PAT is 405 crore for FY21 against 490 crore in FY20. The company's PAT margin stood at 7.78%. The EPS for the year ended FY21 stood at rupees 4.30. In the BOD meeting, dividend of rupees 1.32 per equity share, face value of rupees 2 per share, has been recommended. Earlier, IRCON has declared and paid interim dividend of rupees 1.30 per share before issue of the bonus shares of face value of rupees 2 per share. After closing of the financial year, the company issued fully paid up bonus shares in the ratio of 1:1. So these were the information which I wanted to share with you. And now I will request the moderator to please take the proceedings further in terms of question and answer, etc.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to withdraw yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Participants, to ask a question, please press star and 1. The first question is from the line of Shreyansh Mehta from Equirus Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So thank you for the opportunity. So my question pertains, primarily on the operating margin front. If you see this quarter, we have done, lower than what we had guided for. So we were targeting roughly around 9.5%. But this quarter, so the margins are very low. So are there any one-offs or any particular reason why the margins are on the lower side?
Okay. You are talking of core EBITDA margin of
Right.
7.3, right?
Right.
For the 12-month period, and 7.24 for
Fourth quarter.
7.82 for Q4.
Right. So particularly fourth quarter, sir.
Yeah, fourth quarter, if you compare it with the Q on Q, then it was 7.24, now it is 7.82. So I don't see that there is a decrease in the core EBITDA. And even in EBITDA, after taking the other income in account, then we have, how much is the percentage? 9.38 against, 12% in Q4 of FY21 against 9.38 of Q4 of last year. So if you check the figures, core EBITDA against last year of 7.24, it is 7.82, and EBITDA 9.38, 12 against 9.38. So there is no decrease on Q on Q.
No, sir, I'm not talking about the decrease on Q on Q. I'm saying, as against, so if I compare even the full year 21, so on 21 basis, we have done a EBITDA margin of 9.3, whereas last year we had done 9.15. And our guidance is, generally in the range of 9 to 10%.
Yeah, that is right. Because in FY20 we had a special item of 84 crores, which came to us by way of write-back arrangement of one of the turnover items of the previous years, that was pertaining to agency commission payment. So that is why there is a stark decrease in this year. There was no exceptional item in nature in this year. So because if you take that 84 crore, then it is comparable.
Okay, got it. So, sir, coming to our on the guidance front, what would be, still we stick to that 7,000 and 10,000 crore number for 22 and 23, and in terms of operating margin, what is the guidance now?
So far as turnover is concerned, if you see Q4 of FY20 and Q4 of the FY21, then there has been an increase of 30%.
Correct.
So even on year, so I suppose that this will be a year which is not going to create much of trouble for us. That is how we are praying. So we expect a turnover increase of around 25 to 30% minimum. So that takes us to around 6,800, 7,000 crore from the present level. And EBITDA margin will be in double digits. This is what we'll be aiming for, because we are going to have a mix of projects in our turnover which will have higher margin, which will be in the nature of consultancy, etc. That is what we are aiming, so that we can improve the bottom line also.
Got it. So, sir, when you are saying double digit, does that include the other income, or you are talking about the core EBITDA margin?
No, I am talking of EBITDA, including the other income.
Okay. Fair point. Sure, sir. And sir, one more question pertaining to what would be, the capex number for this year and next year?
Yeah, just to add to the last question, EBITDA even for Q4 was 12%. So we are hoping that EBITDA including other income should be around 14 to 15. That is what we are hoping in FY22. Okay.
So,
and core EBITDA will be around 9.5 instead of 7.82 in Q4 of the FY21.
Okay. So we are looking at, say, on core EBITDA front, we are looking at, say, around 150 to 200 basis points improvement.
Correct.
So that would be primarily because of the project mix, or
project mix. Essentially, project mix.
Okay. Got it. Sure. Sir, and
also we are trying to change the composition of the workforce, because that is our single biggest expenditure item for us, and 270 odd crore a year. So we will be engaging more and more contractual staff who will be little less on the purse and the same on the output.
Got it, sir. Sure. Sir, and the capex number this year and next year?
Capex number will be around 225 for, what was FY21 capex? 190. Including your equity investment for the no? It was only 190. 190. Including our equity investment in SPVs, it was 193. I will get back with the figures of the capex for FY21. But for FY22, we have investment lined up, including our financial investment in the form of equity to the special purpose vehicles. Those also we classify as capex only. So that will be roughly 500 crores.
So this includes the core capex plus the equity investment in the HAM road projects.
Right, that's true.
Okay, sir. Can you just break that up? How much would be road out those?
All those equity which we put in the HAM SPVs or the BOT SPVs are nothing but project finance. Okay.
Got it. And sir, one last question pertains to our other income.
Last year it was 442 crore.
442.
Yeah, for FY21, the capex, including our investment into SPVs, etc., was 442.
Got it. Sure, sir. And sir, one last question pertains to our other income during the quarter. It's abnormally high this quarter. It's at 107 odd crores. So any particular reason for it?
Actually, we got a claim settled in our favor from NHAI. Okay. And a lot of interest was paid to us by the arbitration panel. So whatever claims we are getting, that we are bifurcating into the actual work done revenue and the interest portion, And that has given a normal rise to the other income. In fact, 32 crore came on account of one claim only by way of interest from NHAI.
Sorry, sir, can you repeat the number?
One claim was containing 32 crores of interest income, which we received from NHAI. So 107 crore which you are seeing is only because of the settlement of the claims and taking the interest portion out of the claim amount and booking them into other income.
Other income. Got it.
Yeah.
Sure, sir.
But money is money. It has no, all money are of the same color.
Correct. I agree. So I mean, just wanted to check, is there anything, exceptional or something?
Yeah, no exceptional in other income, yeah.
Got it. So, sir, thank you so much. That's it from my side, and all the best, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, please press star and 1. Anyone who wishes to ask a question, please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Mahesh Kabra from Purnartha Investment Advisors. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Congratulations to both Mr. M.K. Singh and Surjit Datta Saab for their respective promotion to MD and CFO position. The one question I have is already asked by the previous participant, but I could not hear. That was about the margin. I could not hear your answer about that explanation of EBITDA, why EBITDA is low in last couple of quarters. That was the one question.
Okay. So if we take the EBITDA including the other income, then it is 12%, which is not too bad for Q4 21. It was 9.38 for Q4 20. Even core EBITDA, it is 7.82 compared to 7.24 of the previous financial year, Q4 20. So yes, core EBITDA has come down because it was 9.15 for the entire financial year FY20, and 7.82 is not a very happy occasion. In fact, for the entire year it is only 7.3. So against 9.15, 7.3 is not a very happy occasion. Actually, let me share with my investors that we are going through execution of 2 projects which are not too profit making for us, not very heavily profit making for us. So we are getting a lot of turnover from these 2 projects where the profit margin is little less. So that is why you see a drop in the core EBITDA, even though the turnover hasn't dropped proportionately. So 2 projects we have which are giving us headaches, but we will be trying to make this up with a good combination of projects which will have higher profit margin. We'll have some consultancy projects lined up for IRCON, or those projects which are in the nature of providing technical services, so that our bottom line improves and consequently core EBITDA also touches the double digit.
How much of these 2 projects are still to be executed?
Actually, out of 4,947 crore, we have 2 projects which have lesser margin of profit, and the turnover coming from this was roughly 1,200 crores. Sorry, 900 crores.
How much of it is still going to come up in the coming quarters?
In coming quarter, one of the projects will finish in FY22. But then we have certain claims lined up in that project. So even though the profitability per se from the work done may not be really great, but we have certain claims against dedicated freight corridor, which in principle they have agreed. And once those claims materialize to us, then the profitability takes a shoot up and we are comfortable.
Any idea about a rough idea about the amount of the claim?
No, I can't disclose that now because that is still a work in progress.
Okay. So the impact basically is on the gross margin front of these 2 projects, right?
That's right. These 2 projects were responsible largely for bringing down the core EBITDA from 9.15% to 7.3%.
Do we have some of our order book where we don't have escalation clause and the material cost going up also impacting our margin?
No, not really, because most of the projects which we have where the cement and steel are being used very extensively, are well covered by the price variation or those are cost plus. So those are not making any difference to us in terms of increase in the project cost.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you. That was from my side.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 now. Participants, to ask a question, please press star and 1. As there are no further questions, I would now like to hand over the conference to the management for their closing comments.
So thank you very much for Concept IR for organizing this con call, and I express my gratitude to all my analyst and investor friends who have taken time out. And so please engage with us in case you have any further query. We'll be very happy to be associated with all of you and answering your queries. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for being a part of conference call. If you need any further information or clarification, please mail at gaurav.g@conceptpr.com. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your conference for today.